Good evening and welcome to SVG-TV's News and Sports for Thursday, December 5th. I'm Khalil Kato with the details. Tourism is said to be on a positive rise here and stakeholders are being urged to continue their good work. Speaking at the recently held Tourism Awards ceremony, CEO of the Tourism Authority, Glen Beache, said this year has been a good one for tourism.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines has won quite a number of awards this year, and I would like to take this opportunity to really congratulate the staff of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Tourism Authority and our agencies overseas on a job well done. We have a long way to go, and I'm hoping that I get the assistance from all stakeholders, public and private, so that we can move St. Vincent and the Grenadines forward.
Minister of Tourism Cecil Mckie says plans are afoot to make SVG the #1 island in the yachting industry. He said although the sector faced some security issues, they have stepped up their game in curbing the problem.
We've had to increase our patrols, add more patrol boats, increase our land patrols, put in a Coast Guard base in Kanawana, and step up activity to ensure that not only the visitors to our country, but locals alike feel safe and secure, whether on land or on the marine. So we have seen some progress with this. Our numbers, for example, in Beache have reduced significantly, but we must not rest on our laurels. We must continue to do all that is necessary to improve the security aspect of this sector so that our numbers can continue to grow and we can obtain the #1 position over the BVI.
Businessmen and women here involved in trade are being encouraged to give accurate data when dealing with customs agents. According to Comptroller of the Customs and Excise Department, Grenville John, members of the trade community should ensure that they cooperate with the department. He said this is important for post-clearance audits and risk management assessments, as the system can only be successful and effective when there is compliance.
The information and intelligence obtained from post-clearance audit is fed into the risk management system, where risks are identified, analyzed, evaluated, monitored, and reviewed. I am confident that you will appreciate that to make a proper assessment, traders and brokers and also other stakeholders must submit accurate information and make true and correct declaration to us.
John added that as he looked back on the operations of the Customs Department since 2007, he's appreciative of the steady progress made thus far.
Customs St. Vincent and the Grenadines has most of the features recommended by the international organizations such as the World Trade Organization, the World Customs Organization, the World Bank, and the IMF. We have also adopted most of the recommended best practices.
There's a question being asked on the issue of slavery and native genocide, and that is, which race is reparations being sought for? That was one of the questions posed at the recently held reparation panel discussion in the Mariquar Valley. While members of the Reparations Committee are focusing on reparations for African slavery and native genocide, some persons here are questioning the issue of Indian reparations. Commenting on the issue, member of the local Reparations Committee, Marlon Stevenson, said although the committee has not discussed reparations for other races, if persons feel any particular race was unjustly treated during slavery, they too should come forward and demand compensation.
In 1834, when the apprenticeship period ended 38, African slaves were told to leave the estate. You're on your own. You're now employed and given a little yam piece and a little scraps of land here and there, and you have to survive how you could. The Indians, when they came, they had a period of indentureship where they work and then they got a payment. So there's a little difference in the arrangements with the Indian, the Portuguese, and some of those people who came after slavery. But I would say, if persons of Indian heritage in St. Vincent or the Caribbean feel that they were the condition was not just. I think the two should make a case for themselves and come forward.
Ivan James Samuel, an unemployed resident of Diamond, was ordered to stand trial today at the next practical sitting of the criminal assizes on a charge of attempted murder. This after the conclusion of a preliminary inquiry which saw some 8 witnesses giving evidence. Samuel is accused of inflicting 2 stab wounds with an ice pick to the neck of Sherlyn Hackshaw of Bel Air on March 30th of this year in the area of Bedford Street in capital Kingstown. This resulted in Hackshaw's hospitalization for 6 days. Samuel was unrepresented in the matter. The Salvation Army is seeking the financial support from Vincentians to reach its $100,000 Christmas kettle appeal target. More stories and this on the local scene when the evening news continues. Welcome back to the evening news. The Salvation Army here is calling on the Vincentian community, including the corporate sector, to help it to achieve its $100,000 target for the 2013 Christmas Kettle Appeal. Major Pierre Antoine of the Salvation Army told SVG-TV News that the Kettle Appeal is very significant to his organization as it serves as the most important fundraiser each year. Major Antoine adds that if the Salvation Army fails to meet its $100,000 target, the organization would be faced with the challenge of not being able to meet all of its promises to the needy in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Christmas is a time where Salvation Army gives the most, where we every year we distribute approximately 1,000 packages to those who are less fortunate in this country. And then we have a feeding program that have been here for many years where children come and eat. Approximately we feed 150 children daily, primary and secondary schools. So then we have a big task to fulfill in this country. But apart from that, we give dry food too when people come from time to times where they receive packages.
Meanwhile, Major Antoine says the Kettle Appeal runs from November 16th through December 27th. He says while the funds are slowly trickling in, he is hopeful that they will achieve their target by the end of December.
What we would like the public to do, even though they don't receive letters, so then they can call the office and make their donation. The number is 456-1574. 456-1574, so that we can reach our target. And I am sure that St. Vincent people are very generous to the Salvation Army because they want to see the program going, and they will come forward because they love Salvation Army.
The $100,000, is this the usual target, or this is your biggest target in recent times?
No, well, through the years, this is what we have used. Through the years, this is the target, yes. 100,000.
And last year you accomplished that?
Yeah, well, we're near, but this time we just
optimistic.
We just want to have it.
Over 45 needy persons here, including children, will be beneficiaries of free eye testing and glasses, compliments the Beachmont Eye Institute, Eyes R Us. Business Development Officer of Eyes R Us, Barbara Soso, told SVG-TV News that in keeping with the spirit of giving during the Christmas season, they have decided to partner with 4 local charities to offer the free eye testing and glasses distribution Christmas promotion dubbed the Gift of Better Sight.
We'll be giving 4 different organizations some specials for Christmas, and what we have decided is that the House of Hope, the Special Olympics, and the Salvation Army, they will be getting 15 persons with their eyes will be tested for free, and they will get a pair of glasses also, each of those 15 persons for those 3 groups. For the Society of and for the Blind, we will be giving them $5 from each pair of glasses that we sell.
All right. Right, and this promotion runs from when to when?
It's running all now, and it's running until the 27th of December.
And Major Pierre of the Salvation Army and Janice McMaster of the National Director of Special Olympics SVG expressed much thanks to Eyes R Us for identifying their organizations as 2 of the 4 beneficiaries of the promotion.
I am so happy for this initiative because I think God worked it out this way for us as an organization to benefit from it, because as an organization we depend on the public. So then if any agency can come with the type of initiative or to implement the type of initiative, and I think it's a great move for us as an organization.
I want to thank Eyes R Us for inviting us to be part of this campaign, and I look at this as the start of a long-lasting relationship with Eyes R Us and our Healthy Athletes program. So thank you, Eyes R Us.
After several class exercises in preparations for the main event, the Kingstown Anglican School earlier this week staged its first ever evacuation in preparation for a tsunami threat. The Kingstown Anglican School is said to be 200 feet away from the sea and was built on reclaimed land, which makes the location vulnerable to storm surge flooding and tsunamis. Coming out of a PTA meeting following a fire which forced the relocation of the school, it was suggested that regular drills be conducted to teach students how to evacuate buildings in an orderly manner to avoid stampedes and injury. Facilitator Donald DeRiggs of the Rainbow Radio League described today's exercise as a success.
We never know when a tsunami will affect the country, and each life is important. Every student's life is important, and if we have a warning, if we have a threat, it means that now the students know what to do. They know the safe route to high ground, and that is what is important. The children did admirably. Of course, you have kids, you will have those who would want to run, and we try to avoid them running, because sometimes when you run you get into trouble, you trip, you fall, and then in the ensuing stampede people could be killed, and that is what we try to avoid. So we try to teach them the right way, and today's exercise was a reasonable success. We anticipated the whole evacuation would take about 15 minutes, but they did it in a record 9 minutes time.
Principal Kenneth Burgin endorsed the exercise and said that fire drills will also be conducted at least once per term so that students can rehearse orderly evacuation procedures.
This is something that we need to practice more often, and being the first time for the children actually doing it, I think they did extremely well, and I think that is mainly due to the instructions given by Mr. DeRiggs, who would have been very instrumental in this exercise.
The Crime Prevention Unit of the Criminal Investigations Department of the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force will stage its annual crime prevention exercise from tomorrow at 8:30 outside the Central Police Station in Kingstown. The general public is being invited to participate and obtain valuable information on the different ways in which they can assist the police in helping with their personal safety, along with tips to better secure their properties and personal possessions. The exhibition runs until 5:30. Meanwhile, the annual Police Christmas Caroling Contest will be held on Friday, December 13th at the Central Police Station. 10 senior and 6 junior choirs are currently rehearsing for the competition. The senior choirs are expected to sing 2 songs, a traditional carol with no musical accompaniment and an original song accompanied by a Christmas melody and rhythm. The junior choirs, which will come from the police youth clubs across the country, will perform a traditional carol only. The Avenues Dancers, SVG Port Authority, Genesis Steel Orchestra, the Police Drama Club, and a senior officers choir will make guest appearances at the contest. Jamaica launches its first medical marijuana company. We have news from the region when we return.